I said it's only money.
Oh, he ain't got it.
We done heard his tongue.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts, Cam and Mace.
Yeah.
Now, Cam, is there
Cam, what you doing?
any reason you standing up?
Yo, today's show is sponsored by Dipset New York. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hot as a motherfucker out there right now, but when shit cool down, you could look as cool as me. This is our fall lineup. If you want some shit like this to be as cool as me, go to dipsetcouture.us, nigga. Huh? Pardon. I had to let niggas know how I be, you know what I mean? You know, real quick, sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, you know.
It's all good.
Yeah,
okay.
man, there you go.
So we're getting closer and closer to fight night. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford will happen on July 29th. The 12-round fight will be the first bout for all 4 major welterweight belts in boxing history. Who do you predict to win, and what are your thoughts about the fight coming up?
Damn, Murder, they've been asking me this same question for a month and a half, and I still have no answer. I've been watching the All Access.
Yeah.
It's hard because Terrence Crawford is training up in Colorado where the altitude is high, and Errol Spence is training in Dallas,
Texas,
where it's fucking hot as a motherfucker, like a heat advisory to where they like people could die. Yeah. So they're both getting some good training in. I still have no clear-cut answer for this question. I think it's gonna be a hell of a fight. I think they're both very determined to win. If I had to pick one person, the only reason, and listen, this is really, really a touchy situation for both boxers because Bud is my man, Errol's my man, both of them my peoples. And I've been watching, if you pick somebody, the other person's like, stay over there forever, don't ever come back. So I'm like, damn, I don't even want to pick anybody. If I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Errol Spence off one reason solely. I don't know if I said this on the show before, but I said it to somebody else, is that it is a video circulating where if you type in Errol Spence street fight, he's going toe-to-toe with rib shots, no gloves, no nothing, outside somebody's house, just rib shot for rib shot with somebody that's like 260 pounds and he made him quit. Now, Terrence Crawford may have these same type of videos, but I didn't see him. So if I'm picking somebody, I'm only picking it off of that video. Terrence Crawford could fuck around and knock Errol Spence out. I have no idea who's gonna win a fight, but if somebody had a gun to my head and say, pick somebody, that is the reason I'm gonna pick Errol Spence solely off the video. If you go to YouTube and type in Errol Spence street fight, that's the only reason I'm picking him. I'm not picking him off his championships. I'm not picking him off his training. I have no idea, but if somebody had a gun to my head, that's the only reason I'm picking him, because Terrence Crawford could knock him out as well, but that's why I'm picking him.
He gave a lot of information. I think for some reason, I just think Terrence Crawford is gonna win.
I wouldn't do against that.
After I saw the videos with Errol Spence, like everything camera-wise looked like Errol should win. So it's kind of hard to pick, but
I wonder who Vegas got.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford.
This is a
like, because if you saw the All Access, how Errol was shadowing the trainer, and then the trainer switched southpaw, and he still kept hitting him. It lets me know that he trained especially for Terrence Crawford, and it seemed like Terrence Crawford trained just to fight Terrence Crawford's fight. Like, he's not training for Errol. He's like, we're gonna stick to what we do.
Got you.
So it's like, that's a thought, you know.
Yeah,
you don't know really who's gonna win.
That's a great point, because Terrence Crawford.
Because I have no reason why I should go for Terrence other than he's just elusive, you know, the things that the way he boxes, he got all the gifts. But it looks like Errol is gonna win, but I'm still just going with Terrence.
It's crazy, because bringing that up, that's the one thing Terrence Crawford could fuck you up with in round 2. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
He comes orthodox first round, and he be like, I see something, I'm go southpaw.
Yeah.
And fucking nigga up. Be like, oh, I got this. And so you have to get prepared for that, because Errol Spence never trained or not that I know of, never fought anybody who could just, you know what, round 4, we gonna go southpaw on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then not only that, and when I watched Floyd Mayweather talk about him sparring with Errol Spence, and the rumors are this is the rumors,
Yeah.
because Errol Spence never talks about it really. He doesn't talk about it. The rumors is this: he came to Floyd Mayweather's gym, sparred with Floyd Mayweather, gave Floyd the business. Like I said, Floyd, my man, I don't know if this is true or not.
Yeah.
And it was so bad that they told him, get out.
Yeah.
They said, yo, get the hell out the gym. You doing that. The fuck is wrong with you doing that to the champ?
Yeah.
And when he got to his car, they said, no, we bugging.
Yeah.
Come back in. So when I watched Floyd Mayweather talk about training with Errol Spence, Floyd's answer was this: well, I just got out of jail. Because if y'all remember, I had to go to jail, right?
Yeah.
So I was about to fight the guy, and he gave me some good work. I needed that work to get my body where it needed to be. But when I trained him, my body wasn't there to be where it needed to be.
Yeah.
But I can't lie, he gave me some good work.
Did they ever revisit it? That would be the question.
That's the question, but that lets me know, because I never seen, and Floyd didn't say that that Errol fucked him or nothing like that, but I never see Floyd that humble.
Yeah.
Floyd, fuck you mean?
Yeah.
I
Just
fuck
pound
Floyd.
for pound. Yeah.
You know,
TBE.
TBE. Exactly.
TBE.
I never see Floyd. Floyd said, and then he also said, I just got out of jail. It was like a lot of little,
excuses.
I'm like, I don't know, I never heard that side of Floyd. But then he got me ready for Guerrero. And I got my body back where it needs to be. You know how Floyd talking about, and I got my body back where it need to be. But the guy gave me some good work.
Yeah.
So when they asked Errol Spence about it, I seen the one particular on Gillian Wallow. By the way, R.I.P. to my man Gilly's son, man. He passed away, yo. You know, Gillian Wallow, a big reason that me and Murder even speaking again.
Yeah.
So we want to give their family and loved ones our condolences and our prayers.
Yeah.
But I seen them on Gilly's show and Wallow's show, and Gilly was amping. He's like, nigga, I heard you whip Floyd ass, nigga. I heard you gave Floyd ass.
He was trying to get him to say it.
Yeah, and he's like, then Errol kind of laughed at her. He said, nah, you know, he said he just got out of jail, so you know, so
it's like a win I can't count.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he said I just got out of jail, so Gilly like, nah, nigga, they said you gave him the business, and I was just like, I'm not gonna say, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, those are two reasons I'm kind of going with Errol. But if Crawford wins, I wouldn't be surprised. But I love you too. I'm just going over those two things. I have no other reason to pick against you, because if you knocked him out in the third round, I wouldn't be surprised, and vice versa. Yeah,
when it comes to this fight, after hearing you speak, I really thought about it. That Bud has been hurt before. I never seen Errol hurt, and that's the reason why I'm going with Errol. I meant with Terrence, because I never seen Errol's hurt, so I don't know what he'll become if things go that way. Especially when you're a forward foot person and you always fighting going forward. It's almost like when we saw Tyson had the box backwards.
Right.
He didn't look the same. You get what I'm saying? Because he never had to go backwards.
Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder.
Exactly. When those guys are put on the back foot, it just
I get what you're saying 100%. It's
like I saw Bud get hurt and I saw Bud respond.
Right, exactly.
So I think Errol is a phenomenal fighter. He has everything to make Terrence Crawford quit, but I never seen him hurt, you know.
Right.
So when you talk about people being proven, like I've seen this guy get hit and want to fight more versus start dancing around and running around trying to get back.
Which I that's a great point. They never seen him the word is you never seen him in any adversity.
Yeah, so I never seen him in no adversity. Like he had to weather through this storm. Like I've seen Terrence get clipped and say, let's go.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a different fighter than most people get hurt and it be all over.
Right, I agree with that. That's a great point. But I will say this, I think that they both want to win so bad that somebody's gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, somebody gonna get hurt.
Somebody gonna get. I wanted to go to 12 because this is gonna be a spectacular fight. I hope it goes 12, but I see somebody wanting to win so bad that they gonna get caught
I
slipping.
don't see it going past 10.
Yeah, somebody gonna get caught slipping. So I hope not. I would love to see a 12-round fight because I know it may be the first 2-3 rounds. I'm not saying it will be. It may be fucking Hearns Hagler and they come out going crazy the first round. But I see the first 2 rounds going a little slow. Pause feeling each other out. The niggas like the scorecard's starting to kick in. Let's get busy, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. But
I think this fight from the bell ring is gonna be a fight.
From time first round.
I don't see Errol letting him get comfortable. I see Errol pursuing him from the jump. So either Crawford is gonna put him on the back foot or he's gonna be going forward the whole entire fight.
Gotcha.
And that's a bad fight.
So I got Errol, you got Crawford, so neither one of them could be mad at us. We cool with everybody and shit, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. Let us know who y'all got, but we'll be right back with a very special guest.
One eye, one heart, one love.
Excuse me? After last night's performance, we're gonna do this again? Yeah. Not tonight. I don't think so. And make sure you close the door behind you.
When I take the man. When I take the man. When I take the man.
I'm Rico fucking strong.
Took that horsepower and told the girl to giddy up.
Baby!
Fast money, money, fresh shit, cash money, Moscow mule.
I'm back.
Money, looking back at her, I'm a crash.
Hell no. Muchacho, levántate. Toma eso, bébetelo.
Right now?
Well, cuña. Well,
Now, right now. Right now.
yeah.
Girl, let me see you walk it off. Oh, let me see you walk it off. Yeah, let me see you walk it off. Go, girl, let me see you walk it off.
Welcome back. So today we're joined by a very special guest. He's a rapper, songwriter, actor, film producer, and a big contributor to the world of hip hop. The Los Angeles native created his own songs such as It Was a Good Day, but was also a member of the classic hip hop group NWA that was formed in Compton. They created the hit songs such as Straight Outta Compton, F the Police, and Dope Man. The film Straight Outta Compton was then later produced by Ice Cube, which depicted the rise and fall of the group. He continues to create in the hip hop, film, and now sports space. Welcome, Ice Cube.
What's up, baby?
What's
What
happening
you
with
did,
y'all?
man?
Oh, man,
Thank
thanks
you
for
so
having
much
me.
for coming, bro. Like, I'm not
Anytime.
gonna fan out or anything, but we appreciate you coming. Let me ask you something real quick, Treasure. I just, you don't curse. Did she just say F the police? Like I just
I don't say the whole curse.
No, I was just thinking, like, we've been 30 episodes in. I don't think I've ever heard her curse.
And you won't.
Oh, so I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
It's fuck the police. He made. I just wanted to get that out the way. I didn't even pay attention to that, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Q, thank you so much for coming, man.
Anytime, man. I love what y'all doing here.
Oh, thank you so much,
great.
man. We appreciate it. So look, I'm gonna jump right into it. It's been a lot of things going on that you've been circulating as far as you and the NBA with the big three.
Yeah.
And you've probably, not even probably, you've definitely been doing big business on a high scale longer than anybody in this building right now. And you say lately, they know what they're doing behind the scenes, and everybody knows what they're doing behind the scenes. But for the average person who may work at McDonald's, a 7-Eleven, a Dunkin' Donuts, or doesn't understand ad revenue or sponsorship or anything like that, they may not understand what you're saying when you say what they're doing behind the scenes. What exactly do you mean when you say that the NBA are doing things behind the scenes to, stagnate the big three?
Well, when you got a league like this, the biggest revenue is media and sponsorships.
Right.
I mean, ticket sales is cool, but
Right.
you really looking for that big media deal or you looking, for great sponsors. And so, you spend your time, not only, building the business, but behind the scenes, you're talking to all these Fortune 500 companies, especially the ones that advertise in basketball. We go right after them because they got a track record of performing in basketball. So a lot of them already got a sponsorship with the NBA, but they sponsor the NCAA, they sponsor, all kind of other sports too. So it kind of sucks when we get there and we get in and we get, down the line where they want to do it, and then they call us and say, how's your relationship with the NBA? Right. And once we got to tell them that, it's not totally 100 with the NBA, then they start to backpedal and say, if y'all can work that out, then we can do a deal. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So that's happening too many times to count. In 7 years, it's countless of times. And then what you run into is that the pool of sponsors that deal in basketball starts to get narrow. Okay. You know what I mean? You can't just go to any company and say, hey, yo, invest in the big three or sponsor the big three when they don't do basketball. You're going to Gatorade, you're going to Nike, you're going to Geico. You know what I mean? You're going to all the people that usually do it. And so, that kind of hurts the league. We can't grow as fast.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you think that your league being in direct competition with the WNBA may be a problem why the NBA treats y'all like that?
It could be, but that's only because we're not coordinated. If we was working together, we would make sure that we didn't play on the same days they played, and we kind of, could schedule it out. I don't think there's room for both leagues for sure. Right. And if we was kind of working together, then we can work out any kind of conflicts that may be there.
Absolutely.
It's because we're not working together. Now we're bumping up right against them at times.
Gotcha.
What made you guys not work together from the beginning?
They didn't want to. When we first thought of this, it's like, yo, if you're on the block and we coming through with a product, we want to talk to the people that run the block. Right. It might be a problem. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So that's what we did. We went bearing gifts. We said, yo, we're going to start this. We want to give you guys 10% of the league for no money, just cooperation. Right. And they said, thank you, but no thank you. And we told them we're going to do it anyway. And so we proceeded to do it. And at first they was cool because they thought it was gonna be like some bullshit.
Right. Yeah. They thought it was fade away.
Yeah, some nigga shit. Right. So then they realized, oh damn, this is good. It's definitely professional and it's got class to it. So from there, that's when they start telling some of the people that's analysts but was playing in the big three, like, I don't want to name them names, but he was telling them, y'all don't mention the big three when you're on the air. When you're on the NBA telecast or broadcast, do not mention the big three. And that's where it kind of started.
Have they asked you anything like what will make it become cohesive together? Like, is it a percentage or is it?
Nah, they just look at us as competition. And, that's the problem. We're not competition. If you look at what we're doing and what they're doing, they make billions of dollars every year. We're just 6 years into it. So we think we're complementary. Right. And by them labeling us competition, there's bylaws in their owners' agreements that can invest in the competing league. So a lot of NBA owners want to invest in Big Three, but they can't because of that clause. But they can invest in slam ball. They can invest in pickleball. They can invest in NFL, MLB, soccer league.
A whole bunch of other shit that black people don't own.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's what you.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I was waiting for that.
That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some questions about the Big Three. So the quality of the players in the Big Three, because I'm a big basketball fan. Me and Mace used to play basketball. Went to college. Then
I still play, Cam.
Yeah, I don't know how good, I don't know what in the 40 and over fire league, firefighter league, or whatever you play at. Let me ask you this. So do you hold like, because that's the one thing I was thinking about the big three. I'm like, why isn't city related? Why isn't the LA whatever team or Seattle whatever team or New York whatever team? What was the formula of forming teams?
Well, we thought of the league as, like you would think of UFC or NASCAR, we wanted to start this and be able to pivot fast and be able to do things and make sure the league worked,
Right.
And before we start selling teams off. So now we're in a position where it definitely works. People definitely see, okay, this league is viable. Now we're in the process of selling teams. So you will have, a Miami team or a New York team or, wherever we can, find the right owners with the right plan. Because, you can have the team, but you got to have a plan for how you're going to, affect the city, how you're going to do with the young three. Do you have a plan to really make sure the team and the city are working together?
Right.
We don't want to just stick a name on a team and not really have a cohesive relationship with the city and a plan. So right now we got a few guys we vetting who want to be owners, and we're gonna start selling teams off.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
Do you think that there should be like an age where people can't play in the big three?
Yeah, I think so. I think but your body tell you that.
Yeah.
It's a level of basketball. A lot of people are like, oh, it's 3-on-3 half court. Oh, these dudes is, they're not in the NBA. Some of them might be past their prime. But in this setting, playing half court to 50 once a week, these guys really, their skills are really fine-tuned for that. Now, some guys, Mahmoud played, he was 50-something,
Yeah.
he played. He was still able to give work to the 20-somethings, you know what I mean? So we got some guys that's in their 20s who can't play at this level. So it's really a level of basketball. Either you can do it or you can't. And what's different with the big three and 5-on-5 is 3-on-3, you got to have all skills. You can't be a specialist. You can't be a three-point guy or a defensive guy or a rebounder. You got to dribble, pass, shoot, and defend, or you're just going to get exposed out there. So it's guys that can do all that, and they do good in the league, and there's guys that can't do all that, and they don't.
Right. Let me ask you this. Now, y'all are paying players. Do you hold them to a standard of being in shape, or is it a drug test? Or when you come in, you say, look, you can't cheat the fan, and especially that we're paying you. Are y'all gonna be in shape when the season starts and throughout the season? Do you hold them to any type of standard of being in shape, not to cheat the big three fans?
Yeah, and it's not just me holding them to that standard, they teammates.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold them to that standard. People think it's
not to
easier
cut you
to
off,
play.
It's like your motherfucking money. So niggas just like, yo, don't come in here bullshitting when I'm paying you. You get what I'm saying?
If they're not ready, they get cut. Dudes, release them. Bring in other guys that's ready. The player captains they like the GMs too, so they get to pick who they want to play with.
Gotcha.
So if I grab, somebody like Rashard Lewis, he'll pick, Reggie Evans. I want to play with this guy. So he get to pick two of the guys as his co-captains, and then they draft another two guys. So, if nobody working out, if it ain't working out, they send you back to the draft pool, pull another player. And the competition stays high. You get paid more if you win than if you lose. So that makes niggas play. That's incentive to be in shape and play. And if you don't come in shape, your tongue is just gonna be hanging out when it's 12-6. Because it's still the same size as an NBA court.
Right.
But do you know who sent you back to the draft pool when it happens?
Yeah. You do.
That gotta be
crazy.
You send me back to the pool.
Player captain. He'll send you back. A few dudes got released the other day. They bringing in a couple more. So we'll see if that
that
works.
gotta be crazy to know. It's almost like playing in the park and somebody didn't pick you and they had one last pick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all
And he
that.
looking around like who to pick.
Yeah.
And you standing right there and he's
And you
like,
got to see him
Yeah.
later on. So moving forward, what do you think is a resolution? And I heard you say, no, I've been following for years, but you like, yo, fuck him. I don't really need to work with the NBA or anybody else. I'm gonna go on this tour and let people know what's going on. What is anything that you want to let people know about the Big Three moving forward? Because we're fans already, and just getting the word out there. Because like, what network did you guys start on?
We started on Fox.
Right.
Now we're on
And
CBS.
CBS.
Yeah.
What happened with Fox? Was that part of the NBA kind of? Hey, what happened with that
Nah,
situation?
with Fox kind of changed their business model. They decided to, they sold a lot of their properties to Disney. And then with their sports, they had these RSNs. They had these RSNs.
I heard that.
The regional sports networks that they used to have, they would have, Fox Sports West or Fox Sports, whatever. And so they sold those too. We was trying to buy those, but Sinclair kind of jumped in and got them. And so they kind of busted up how they was dealing with their sports. Now they just really go for football and baseball and wrestling. So I don't think they even got basketball in their game no more.
Gotcha.
So then we moved to CBS. It's been number love over there. They got us over there with the big boy teams, same people that do the Super Bowls and the NCAA games, doing the Big Three games.
So what happened in between where you said you guys were looking to buy it, but something else happened?
We got outbidded,
Outbidded.
Yeah.
Right.
In the 11th hour, we kind of glad we didn't get it because then the pandemic happened and then sports shut down and, I
So
think
they was gonna sell it to you. They was
Yeah.
gonna sell it.
Sinclair ended up swooping in and buying it. It took us a minute to get all that money together and then they just beat us to the punch.
Well, good, man. I'm good on the basketball, man. I just want to get what I really wanted the people to know as far as the Big Three is that you're a black owner, basically. And and we've been doing business for a long time, but a lot of times you have the average viewer that don't understand when, like you say, they know what's going on, because we know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
But you got the average person who be like, yo, why does Cubes not tell us? So I really wanted you to come here and break that down and all the sneaky shit that goes on and all that foul shit behind the scenes that people don't know because they've never done business on the level you have. And I was like, Cube keeps saying you know what's going on, and I really wanted you to come up here and explain that to people because everybody doesn't have the business mind or the ethics that you have, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate just you allowing me to be able to
Get
speak
the
on
fuck
it
out.
I mean,
Cut this corporate shit.
the whole thing.
Anytime you want, man.
I appreciate that, but the whole thing was to be able to find these, alternative outlets that's not, mainstream media, that could, where you can like say what you need to say without the host kind of, steering you the way that, all that kind of stuff. So I just appreciate you guys even got this show because sports needs this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sports needs a new flavor, new angle, some realness. And so, I was excited that you guys, got this going and running, and you guys,
we appreciate it. Look,
they need to come cut the check and put y'all.
No, I was saying no. Well, yeah, thank you for that. Look, yeah, definitely.
They need to come on, put them on, so everybody can see them. On those big networks.
Yeah, just definitely because my nigga, like I said, we grew up on you, and your longevity. Pause. Murder.
No. We going pause free today.
So basically, is a testament. Like you've been doing this for a long, long time. Like we bark on her She's 22. She just turned. She's never seen Friday.
Oh,
Okay,
Lord.
that would
She never seen Pay the Full. Like, no, this is a fucking problem. This is a fucking problem.
She's part of the problem.
She's part of the problem.
She's part of the problem.
Yo, we flipped about 5 episodes on her about this, man. Like, we was almost going to suspend her behind this shit, man.
Yeah.
You got some
Wait,
homework.
I do.
Yes.
Can I actually ask a
Yes.
question though? Okay.
No,
so,
sorry.
Yeah.
Ask as many questions
No,
you want.
all good.
She
So-
thought it was
I just wanted to get basketball away because I got music shit.
Yeah.
But
So I'll speak on what they were saying. Overall, you're very, very, very humble, and like even though I am younger and they get on me about that, like you said, your longevity. Pause. We all have kind of followed your journey and watched what you've done. So my question is basically, so the Big Three made history as the first Black-owned sports league, which is a huge deal. You didn't even say it; you just kind of sat back and watched. But I'm gonna say it because that's a big deal.
Thank you.
What does that mean to you, and for people watching, what would you want them to know?
I mean, it's an honor. You know, I don't want to be the last. So hopefully, we got some young entrepreneurs out there watching with a big idea that you know, if you got the talent around you to bring it into fruition, go for it. And you know, just being an example. You know, showing that if you put your brain to work and it, you know, you could think of something cool that people can get into. So you know, I don't. You know, sports is to me universal. It has no color. So being the first Black sports league, you know, that's cool. But I want everybody to come out to the games and enjoy the sport. You know, it's really for everybody.
you got anything else?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah.
I definitely
I'm
had.
cool on the sports.
Music.
On sports, I'm ready to go music crazy. But
Yeah,
so anything
I wanted to
sports
ask
related,
one question before we go deeper, pause into the music. One thing that I was really admiring is that when you started in music, like the way you switched to movies and doing this, what was your brain thought in doing that?
Shit, man, John Singleton. You know, John Singleton, director of Boys in the Hood, he discovered me, man. I wasn't even thinking about movies. You know, when you like in the game, you're just trying to be the best rapper in the world. You know what I mean? You ain't really thinking about nothing else. So, you know, he had got me, you know, just focused on the movie, and he invited me to his house one day. We watching movies. He's showing me, you know, movies and shit. That's all he did was want to show you different movies. So he just asked me one day. He was like, "Man, when you gonna write a movie?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" It's like, man, you know, I hadn't even thought about it. You know, I'm like, I'm just now figuring out that, you know, I can act and shit. I thought you had to go to Juilliard or some kind of school for that. And so he said, man, if you can write them songs that vivid, you can write a movie. And so it put a bug in me that like, oh shit. So I looked at the script and I'm like, yo, this format is pretty easy. Like I can think of a story and start writing it. So I went and bought a computer that day, like, and just, I started writing. And the first movies I wrote was whack. You know, they was just, it was garbage. He was helping me, but they wasn't good. And then the third one I got to was Friday, you know what I mean? And that was one that was like, damn, this actually can be a movie. You can actually shoot this. So it was really John Singleton that kind of put that bug in.
I seen your audition tape for Boys in the Hood too. The first
Yeah,
time
That first one was
he's like, you didn't take the shit serious.
I didn't.
Right. Then you came back and you nailed Doughboy.
I didn't even know it was him. You know, like I had met him a year or two before that. And then my manager was like, one day, she was like, oh, yo, somebody want to put you in a movie. And I was puzzled. I'm like, what? I'm no actor. What the heck? And when I get there, it's him. John's sitting there like, yo, remember me? And I'm like, yeah, I do remember you. And he's like, man. So we went in for the audition. And I pulled the notes out of my pocket, the size, and was just reading them, and I was just whack.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, dude, you terrible. And he said, I'm gonna give you one more shot, Q, because they want me to bring in some actors, you know. And I'm gonna give you one more shot. Go home, read my script, man. 'Cause I know you didn't read it, because I can tell.
Right.
So read the whole thing. Come back tomorrow. We're gonna give it one more shot.
Right.
So when I got home, I read it, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's about our neighborhood."
Right.
I was actually, you know, my wife Kim, I'm like, "Damn, they making a movie about our neighborhood. Like that shit movie worthy." You know what I mean?
Right,
Back
yeah,
then, it was
absolutely.
like, shit's movie worthy, how we grew up. And she's like, yeah, I guess they did doing a movie on it. So I got it. So next time I went to go audition, I'm like, yo, I got this.
Right.
You know, I know all these niggas
Yeah,
right,
right,
here.
that's
I can
a
do
fact.
any of them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it got going.
Dope.
Yeah, movie game.
That's crazy because I got Cube in my top 5 best rapper actors. Killer's in my top 5 too.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it. I'm nowhere near Cuba. I got about
Killer,
2.5
nah.
movies.
No, but when I saw the
Thank you,
movie,
man.
when I saw it, I was just
Love you,
like,
man.
yo.
That was cool, man. That was nice of you, man. You being nice of me. Thank you, bro. I ain't nowhere near Cube, nigga.
Yeah, when I saw Killer in the movie, I almost teared up. I said, yo,
He wasn't
he really believes that. So your movie was like that too. I was just like, wow.
Movie I did, it's based on Harlem. I couldn't fuck that up and go back home.
Like,
Same thing.
it was
It's
amazing.
Like,
So that's
It
the
was
same.
amazing page full.
it's kind of the same thing with that you just said. It's like
Your neighborhood.
it's the neighborhood, and then we did it for our neighborhood. Let me ask you this: how accurate is the movie Straight Outta Compton?
Straight
How
Outta
close to
Compton is very accurate. As accurate as you can, you know, take 10 years and try to shove it in 2.5 hours.
Gotcha.
So, you know, you have things you have to summarize because you want people to feel what it felt like, and also, you know, you got a movie, so you gotta, you know, introduce the characters, you know, put them in some shit, get them out some shit. You know, that's basically movies.
Yeah.
And so you got to follow those movie beats, and they got to be dramatic, but everything happened. You know, some things may have happened in a week, and we put it in one scene.
Gotcha.
See what I'm saying? So you got to kind of scrunch things together to make sure you get the whole story. You know, but you know, basically, we wanted to tell a story, a universal story, because if not, you know, it's just rap movie shit, you know, and people's like, yo, it's a rap movie. I was like, nah, it's bigger than a rap movie. So we wanted to make a movie about friendship, break up to make up, you know, David versus Goliath, rags to riches, you know, all that is universal stories that we had with the backdrop of that time and that era, and the real dialogue that was happening and shit that was going on. So it's tricky, you know. It was the hardest movie I ever made because of reality, you know.
Right.
When you just dealing with fiction,
Yeah.
be like, man, fuck it, you know, we don't have that car, get this car. We
Right.
don't have that, you know, we don't
Yeah.
have that house, get this, you know, apartment. You know what I mean? You could just. But with a
get one
movie,
shot
you're
at
trying to
that
be
shit.
accurate. You wanna, and it's a period piece. So we want people to feel how it felt like in 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. You know, so it was a lot of things to try to juggle to be able to get that story. But, you know, you got me there, you got Dre there, you know, Ren, Yella, DOC.
Right.
Everybody is kind of giving their input on their version of what happened, you know. So we just, a lot of shit I didn't even know. Like, cause when I broke up with the group, you know, I'm over here with the lynch mob and my shit, they over there doing their thing. I don't know what's going on with them. So
Right.
in making the movie, I'm discovering
You're
like,
learning shit.
like, so what happened when I left? And
Right.
then, you know, finally getting a chance to really hear what happened.
Right.
So I was like, damn, if I'm discovering new shit,
Right.
the audience is gonna be the same way. You know, they're gonna be like, yo, this happened, yo. I didn't know half of that shit was happening over there.
Yeah, once you gonna fuck with niggas, you
Yeah,
gonna fuck
you
with
know.
them. Your son did a great job.
Thank
Did
you,
a
man. Thank you. I
sensational
appreciate
job,
it.
man.
I appreciate it. I'm proud of him.
So let me ask you this: working with Dr. Dre, is it very tedious? Because he seems like a professional. We had a session, Dipset that is, with Dr. Dre. We had a session with Dr. Dre. We was in there maybe 14 hours and did nothing got done. I mean, shit got done, but Drake like, nah, yo, say it like this. And then we were like, we thinking, we said, because you know, we from Harlem, so we think we the one take boys. We go in there, jump in, say our shit, yo, we done. Nah, y'all ain't done. Like, what you mean? That shit was fire, Drake. Nah. Say it like, put your shirt, well, I don't even remember what it was, but we said about 100 verses a piece. Then he wanted a girl's voice, and I'm like, yo, this process is kind of
crazy.
Yeah, look, you said we not playing today. I'm just saying, but
I'm thinking as a Harlem nigga sitting there for 14 hours.
Yeah,
we walking out.
No, that's why I'm actually. We only had one song. We had one. No, niggas.
Dre want to get every syllable right.
Yo, we end up sneaking out.
That's what I was thinking.
You want to get every syllable right, and it's not right to you, it's right to him. Like, he want to hear it a certain way. Right. So, yeah, you're going to work when you...
And he was like that in the beginning?
Yeah, he was like that. You just had to get it right, or he wasn't gonna put the record out.
It seemed like watching, like I said, just watching the movie, sorry to cut you off, Murder. Just watching the movie that, since still to this day, your pen was always on fire. So they had to kind of favor what you said, because Easy wasn't a rapper, or Dre didn't know how to rap, and maybe Ren did, but it seemed like you were always the best writer. So that's why I was asking you, when you first started with NWA, did he tell you to make your syllables and everything?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you always been.
Since from day one?
Day one.
Gotcha.
And
that's crazy.
How can you argue with him? You know, especially after the hits start coming. You know.
But in the beginning, you didn't have the hits.
I'm not. You know, Boys in the Hood was the first song I wrote, and we did it for Easy. So once we got that standard, it was kind of like, this is the bar we gotta
stay at.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and he, I mean, Easy was not a rapper at all. So you can imagine that session took like 4 days or some shit. You know, like getting him to get them 3 verses in on that song, maybe 4 verses on that song. But, you know, it's a hit. You know what I mean? What can you say? Like, tell Dre, nah, man, this shit is done. I got it. I'm gone. He's just gonna stand there, get a man what he want. You know, get a man what he want, and then you know, after you do that, he'll probably call you back in when he mixing it and saying, "Yo, man, I need you to say these couple things over." And so you working with somebody like that, you just gotta be like, "Yo, I'm a tool right now." You know what I mean? I just gotta get this man what he want. And just keep hitting him with ideas, you know. Keep hitting him with your ideas. See, some people get in with Dre and they freeze up. You know, they think, okay, this is Dre. He gonna have all the ideas, but he want them. He wants you to keep coming with, you know. He don't care if it's whack, just say it. You know what I mean? Give him the idea, and then let him chop it up. So, yeah, you know, you're gonna work when you're working with Dre. You know, bring a lunch for sure.
That's wow.
So I was looking the other day, I forget whose show it was on. I think it's Hookah, if I'm not mistaken. Right. You think that and I'm not disagreeing, I'm actually the #1 diss record ever.
Yeah.
Of all time. Anybody, it doesn't matter if it's Jay-Z, Nas, Kumo D, LL Cool J.
Which record is this?
No Vaseline.
Yeah, it's Child Love.
No Vaseline. Here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why I think it's the best. Because you got one MC taking out 4 motherfuckers and the manager. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, you can't beat that.
And they
4 MCs and the manager is crazy,
You know, that's what and that's what I was, that was part of the movie that was really interesting, that you said you probably learning that when I was watching the movie and they heard the song for the first time. It's good that they had Dre and everybody there. He said Jerry Heller went on a rampage in the house when the song came on. They wanted to sue and all type of crazy shit. But it's a lot of diss records. You number one ever?
Number one ever. I mean, you
I
know,
don't argue with you.
I love diss records.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
I don't think nobody had to really deal with that.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was a
deal
lot.
with 4 MC one.
And not only that,
one-on-one.
they was on fire.
It was on fire. I thought you look.
Yeah, they were.
I had a
was
part
on
2
fire.
wrote because I knew. You know what I mean? It
You
was.
had
It
part
reminded
2
me.
wrote?
Yeah, it reminded me of Harlem Nights. You know, it's like. You know what I mean? They shooting.
Yeah.
You just pop up.
Pop, pop, pop.
You think more of your shells coming. You
Right.
look up, they all laid.
They
You like,
dead.
whoa, okay.
Now,
All right.
are you right? Because when I heard you say that, I'm like, I Googled. I said, niggas did never know. They never really recovered from that, man.
Yeah,
They were, to me, in a process of breaking up.
Breaking up
Like Dre
everyone.
was, you know, going through. This is what I end up hearing after the fact. You know, in doing the movie, that Dre, you know, shortly after I left, it started to get rocky over there with Easy and Dre, and so and DLC. So I don't think, you know, they was cohesive enough at the time that I dropped the record that they could come back.
I think it's all because of Eazy's relationship with Jerry Heller.
I think Jerry taught Easy what to do. Now, Easy,
how to rob niggas.
Yeah, that's
you
still
know,
going.
yeah,
That's
straight
still
up.
going on today.
I think Jerry
Jerry
taught him
took
how to
Easy
do
to rob his
it
friends.
because
That's
Jerry
still
didn't,
going on
Easy
today.
didn't know the business.
Yeah, that's what
Easy was a new dude coming around,
right.
and he was hanging, and he started to be like, "Yo, I like this music shit. I'm trying to get out of the game. I want to get into music. I'm gonna be a manager, and I'm gonna have my own label." And you know, we all like, "Yeah, man, whatever." And then, you know, nigga just got serious.
Yeah.
He started to come with. He was like, "This is what the label gonna look like." He started getting label copies made and all this stuff. And we looking at this dude like, yo. And then he started to connect with people. First, he connect with Alonzo, who ran the Wrecking Crew, because Dre was part of the Wrecking Crew.
One thing I'll say, that motherfucker Alonzo's in everybody's documentary.
Yeah,
When it
Alonzo.
comes, like, you know, the
He was
little
a man.
documentaries.
He was a hustler, you know. He was first, you know, he throw parties and stuff. And then he would hire, like, you know, book Run DMC to come,
Yeah, Alonzo.
Salt and Pepper, and
I never
and
met
then he
him,
was
but
like,
he
"Fuck it,
talked
we gonna
that
start
shit.
making
Alonzo
money."
be like,
getting
this
that
shit would
money.
have never happened without me. Alonzo
That's
the
real.
character.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said, none of these motherfuckers would have never existed
True.
without me.
It's true, you know. He so Easy started hanging with him, you know what I mean? Then I think Easy, Lonzo introduced Easy to Jerry. And then, you know, Jerry started teaching Easy the game. And then we started making records kind of at the same time. So I just felt like, you know, at the time, Easy really didn't know the game enough to be robbing niggas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had to be taught that by somebody.
Gotcha. Just what we said, Jerry taught him to rob niggas, basically. And was that the reason you left the group?
I left the group because he lied, you know, and I caught him in a lie.
When you say he lied, who lied?
Jerry lied to me.
Okay, gotcha.
I was a young dude, you know, young MC. I like the whole business part of it, you know, I was kind of naive to it. But then I started hanging with the publicist that we had for NWA. She ended up being my manager, named Pat Charbonnet. You'll see her name on the Friday credits. But she was saying, you know Jerry? I'm like, no, I don't know these dudes, you know, I don't know Jerry. She's like, make sure you look at your paperwork, you know what I mean? Make sure, you know, I got a lawyer if you wanna talk to him, named Michael Ashburn, and make sure everything is straight. So I didn't want to tell Jerry I had a lawyer, you know what I'm saying? I was like, my mama, I said, my mama want to see my contract before I sign it, you know, I put it on, because I felt like he would think she, you know, black mama don't know.
she didn't know no better.
So give it to her and we'll get it back. So he kept saying, I'll get it to you, I'll get it to you.
How old are you at this time?
I'm 17, 18, about 18.
Very smart.
So he's like, I'll get it to you, I'll get it to you. It wasn't coming. And then I told my mother, I said, call him, you know. And then he said, so my mother called him. So I asked him. We was on the road, we was on tour. So I asked him, I said, man, you talking to my mother? She said, yeah. He said, yeah. I talked to her, and she cussed me out, Q. She called me all kind of names in the book. And I sat back, I'm like, wait a goddamn minute. Now, my mama ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you did
she
something.
ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? You not only are you handling you doing my business, she ain't gonna fuck up my business like that. So I knew he lied on her. And so I called her, and then she went off about him lying. So I said, okay, this motherfucker's a liar. If he lie on my mama and don't think I'm a double check or you know,
She's not gonna talk to your mama at 17 years old.
Yeah, you a scumbag, you know what I mean? So I said, okay, I can't trust him. If you lie on your mama, you can't trust him. So they wanted us to sign the contracts while we were still on tour. That's when you seen the scene where I'm like, yeah, I ain't signed.
So that was real
That was
in the
real when you said
movie.
why the room's so dark and all
Yeah,
that.
all that, because we was in Phoenix, Arizona. At the DoubleTree Hotel in Phoenix, Arizona. We at the Phoenix, and everybody's going in. You know, Jerry. You know, we signing contracts today. You know, so everybody's going down there. So it was my turn.
Y'all didn't go together?
No. One at a time.
That's crazy.
One at a time.
That's crazy.
But think about it, not to cut you off, Murder, just think about this. Because I'm like, Mace got his deal in 1996, and I think I'm on in the end of 1997. This is the 80s.
Yeah.
The how strong, because when we got a record deal, we just fucking happy to get a record deal. Like, yo, we got a deal, so how strong and smart you have to be to turn that down. But I want to hear the real story. At 17,
but remember, my mom said she wasn't signing the contract.
That's
the
a fact.
first deal we didn't get.
That's a fact, but we just
because of the same things.
We was like, fuck that. We signed that shit. So I'm sorry to cut you off because I really want to hear how this happened. So he pushed y'all down one
by one. It was my turn. So
was they happy? The people that came out before,
like
after they signed?
they had $75,000.
Yeah.
So they was happy.
Yeah,
they had a $75,000
in
check.
the 80s.
So I go in and it's like dark and shit. You know what I mean? Like sitting behind the contracts and this light on the contracts. It's like, real. You about to sign your soul to the devil type shit.
Right.
Yeah, it was like he was trying to intimidate. He knew that I was asking about the contracts and shit. So I guess he was trying to, intimidate me or, had this one-on-one, session, me and him just kind of, he was just going to convince me to sign his contract.
Right.
So I sat down, he was telling me, the record is doing good and it's great and we got, just money for you and everything is great and all you need to do is sign this contract. And I'm like, I said, I can't sign the contract because I don't know what's in it. I've been trying to have you get it to my people and you won't do it, so I need to see what's in that contract before I sign it. And he was like, we got $75,000 for you, Q. I said, well, ain't that my money anyway, whether I sign it or not, because the record is out.
Right.
So that's my money anyway. No, I can't give it to you. Easy said, do not give it to you unless you sign.
He said, Easy said, don't
Easy said, I can't give it to you unless you sign.
is crazy.
So I just like, well, all right, man. He said, you're not gonna sign it? I said, I can't sign it. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what I'm signing. Like, I just got up.
On the fucking record.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for
walked out.
ad-lib. I'm just thinking.
And he putting you against Easy from the rip.
Not only that, he's rating Easy shit. Easy kid,
you're right.
So go ahead, my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I just got up and left, and then it started to get around to the group that I didn't sign and shit. So we was on our way to the show. It was clowning my ass in that car. It was in the van. Everybody's like, man, 75,000. I don't give a fuck what that shit say. I want my money. Like, it was all talking about what they was gonna do with their money and shit. It was like, they thought I was a dummy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just taking that shit on the chin, rolling.
Yeah. And then that's to the point what I was saying is that he's writing all the shit. Everybody, I guess, outside of Ren.
DOC was writing.
Okay, DOC
too.
was writing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So,
but they saved them for last, so it could be harder for them to say no.
Listen, but that's what I was.
They did a skit about it and all kind of shit.
Yeah, that shit.
They did all kind of shit telling me about that.
So when America's Most Wanted came out, I used to go to Inglewood in the summertime to, my aunt lived in Inglewood in Cali off La Cienega and Evergreen. So when that shit came out, I went back home when the summer was over with khakis and shit on. And it's like, kid, what the fuck are you doing, man? I said, yo, my nigga, fucking Q got this shit going crazy, nigga. I'm like a Cali nigga because I was going out there in 1990, 1991.
Yeah.
Like three summers in a row, I was going to Inglewood. And you had that shit in the smash. And then I was a real NWA fan too on the album you wasn't on. And I'm like, oh, they going hard because nobody ever knew your name. And I'm like, who the fuck is those shit? They start calling and I'm like, oh, they kind of going crazy on Q right now.
Yeah.
But I like that album too, I'm not gonna lie. Then you came back and I'm like, damn, man. Like
see, I wasn't gonna diss them. Like,
right.
if you listen to America's Most Wanted, I don't mention NWA
man,
at all.
Yo, straight up, my shit. Once upon a time in the all that shit, I was out there.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of out there every call playing. That shit was going crazy. So when I came, like I said, I came back home wearing khakis and all type of shit, Converse. The niggas thought I was fucking crazy for about 2-3 months when I came back home.
Yeah, it's infectious, man. You know what I mean? You get around there and get around them folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you start.
So what about, I know I always see Dub C with you at your shows, everywhere you go, whenever I see you perform, or sometime we be at the same place and just different times. Is the Westside Connection still together sometime?
Nah, we don't get down like that. It's just me and Dub. Me and Dub, we from the same neighborhood. So
okay.
We grew up, right around the corner from each other. Yeah. So we always been down from day one. Right. And I just happy he's still, hang out and go out with me. He is his own artist, but he still go out with me. Mm-hmm. And we've been all over the world together, so it's been a great thing. So
what, like y'all, it's a problem with Mac?
Yeah, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's
I like
it's a thing where
modest as a motherfucker.
It's just a violation that can't be overlooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. You mind sticking around for one
of
the topics?
With it, man. Yeah, man.
Right,
I'm having a ball.
Okay, so we'll be right back with more questions.
She called this thing about toxic. 4 years and counting. Got you feeling like an option. Maybe I'm my own problem, babe. She tired of hearing I don't know. My stubborn in me won't fall. Dealing with this thing called trust. But she really thinking about it. She wanna be free.
Welcome back. We're still here with Ice Cube, and Mace had a couple questions.
Yeah. I wanted to more so talk about where did you find Chris Tucker at?
Oh man,
Friday.
Chris had done. I seen him on Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
And when it was time to do Friday, actually, DJ Pooh was supposed to play Smokey. DJ Pooh, he wrote the movie with me. And he plays Red in the movie. So he was supposed to play Smokey. New Line had a problem with that because he had never done a movie before.
Yeah.
And then Chris had just done House Party 3, but they didn't use him. Like, they used him like half a second.
I didn't know he was in it till you just
Yeah,
told
he
me.
like half a second. And I said, they underused that dude. And so when it was time to do Friday, when we was looking for people, they was telling me, try Tommy Davidson and try these other people. And I'm like, nah, I want somebody nobody has ever seen before because he's gonna feel like he's from the neighborhood, like Smokey. Mm-hmm. And so I said, man, I seen this kid that I know he could do it, named Chris Tucker. And they was like, who? I said, man, just get him out here. Let us do a screen test together. You know what I mean? Let's do some scenes together.
Yeah.
If it don't work out, then, we could just send him back home. And so they agreed. Then we sat down. I mean, it was funny from jump, And then they was like, yeah, this kid is like a new kid. And I'm like, he already been in a New Line movie? And they was like, which one? I said, fucking House Party. He was like, oh, yeah. Okay, he could do it since he's been in one of our movies before. before. So that's kind of how Chris got it.
Let me capitalize on what you were saying.
Yeah, I wanted to say what made him, when it went so well, not come back and do like Friday too.
I don't really know. You know, it's like we didn't decide to do the second Friday till like 5 years later. I actually wasn't gonna ever do a sequel. You know what I mean? I was just like, that one is like,
He was super going by
you
that.
know that,
So the
you know
classic
that,
sometimes,
it's classic.
yeah.
Leave it alone. And then New Line was bugging me, yo, is it a sequel? You think you could pull, you know, is there something? I'm like, yeah, I can think of something. And then I had a whole concept. Then I realized he wasn't gonna do the second one. You know, at the time he said he didn't like pushing the marijuana and then the profanity. And so
Niggas
I was
always
like,
fuck
damn.
shit
I
up.
was like, damn, you know, like this is not
Always
gonna
get
work.
Religious.
It's not. Hey man, hey, don't blame God, man. Don't blame God. Yeah, I know. I say you can't blame God for it. But it's cool because I was like, yeah, you know, we can't be on the block without Chris. So I gotta take this off the block.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, okay, you know, Craig has a crazy cousin, like we all got crazy ass cousins. So we're gonna go out there and deal with his crazy ass cousin Day Day. So then that's how Mike Epps, you know, I saw him he was doing stand up. I was like, that nigga crazy right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you and DJ Pooh fall out over the movie Friday at any particular time after
Nah,
it was over?
DJ Pooh, what happened was when it was time to do the sequel, it was a situation where something happened with Pooh and his contract when he first signed the contract with New Line. So it was a situation that we cleared up. And so, you know, me and Pooh are cool to this day. We actually, you know, I was actually having them help me with the fourth one until, you know, New Line, you know, they didn't want to do it after we got it done. But yeah, it was an issue with his contract when he first signed with New Line. So got that cleared up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my last question I wanted to know, since it's 50 years of hip hop, just looking back over everything, recapping everything that happened between East Coast and West Coast.
Yeah.
What's your outlook on it looking back?
I think it was something that,
like, what could have prevented it with all that type of stuff?
I don't know what could have prevented it. You know, I think, you know, it was just a kind of a territorial thing in a way. I think when it first started happening, it really started happening when the West Coast started to blow up. It seemed like it took a lot of attention away, and it was like some industry folks that was not liking that, you know.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a theme going around, like, yo, let's keep it real. That keep it real term came out of the East Coast, West Coast beef, because it was kind of like, yo, what we doing on the East is real hip hop. What they doing over there is just like gangbang music, you know, and it was kind of being discredited by the industry. That was bubbling before Biggie and Pac got into it, you know. I remember Tim Dog did a record called Fuck Compton.
Yeah, from the Bronx.
Yeah, we used to dance in the parties.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. You know, we didn't understand where that was coming from.
Because you know what? And
We
I
were
was young. I was
kids.
about to say, we was probably 10, 11 years old, but y'all, whether y'all know it or not, y'all was a big deal on the East Coast. So it got to the point where niggas on the East Coast, just I take it as a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, like, oh, they can't take it no more. This is the only way to get back at them, because we loved what y'all guys was doing as well.
I mean, we love the East Coast. Our favorite groups was all East Coast groups. You know what I'm saying? Our favorite groups wasn't West Coast groups. It was, you know, EPMD. It was, you know, Run, DMC, Rakim, KRS. You know, those are our favorite groups. So when that came out, it was like, whoa. And then there was a couple other songs that kind of came out in that vein. I think Master Ace had a song called Slaughterhouse, you know.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
so it was bubbling. And then what happened was, you know, the thing that happened at the Source just kind of took it over the top with Suge, you know, and Death Row and you know, going against Puffy and the Bad Boy team. So that's just kind of, since both teams was at the top of the heat, it kind of just made it go, you know, made it blow. We did Westside Connection because we felt like, okay, our legacy is gonna be erased. You know, we had a blip of, you know, 6-7 years, but that all would be erased if we don't like put a flag in the ground and be like, yo, this is West Coast, this is us. We did have an impact in hip hop. Because the whole industry we felt was on the East Coast, you know, it's like on TV Raps, BT, it's like everything that we needed was on the East Coast, and we felt like, yo, if we got this sentiment going and we don't put our flag in the ground, our whole time that we bubble might get erased.
Gotcha.
You know, so that was kind of our take on it, and I'm glad we passed that. You know, I think that time with the East and the West going at each other, it made the South blow up too. You know, it gave an opening for the South. So now you have pretty much 3 coasts. That's bubbling.
That's really good, because, and not to cut you off,
go ahead,
but I was thinking about that as you was talking, because I could remember those times, and it's funny how on the East Coast we thinking the same way, the exact opposite, but the same way. We're thinking, well, we got music, but we got to go to LA for everything. We got to go out there to do movies. We got to go out there to the awards. So it's funny to hear you say that, because on the opposite side, we're thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah, we was worried that the industry would look at discredit our you know, our time that we had, you know, from NWA. I mean, Ice-T on, you know. We didn't want that to happen. And you know, it's crazy because, you know, at the end of the day, I think both coasts really respect each other and respect, you know, each other's contribution to the game. And it's just a dark period in hip hop. Yeah.
This will be my last. Sorry, Mace. This will be my last question, because I know y'all going. Mace may have something else he want to ask you. Capitalizing off what Mace was saying, when you left the group NWA, you were one of the first people like to work with Public Enemy. Mm-hmm. Did you take any backlash from the West Coast with messing with like Public Enemy because they were from the East Coast? Were they cool with that?
Not at all. You know, they was cool. My favorite producers was the Bomb Squad. You know, It wasn't Dre.
Right.
You know, it was like I love Public Enemy.
Right.
You know, and I love the production. You know, I think, you know, when it comes to sampling, nobody was better than the Bomb Squad. You know, you got Eric Sadler, Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, Chuck D. And so I was happy, you know, I was like, yo, I got the best producers in the game. We're about to work on my project. And I did hear that when they heard I was on the East Coast making a record, that they laughed because they just thought it wouldn't work. You know, it was like, yo, taking this West Coast shit to the East, it's just gonna be a train wreck.
Right.
And so it wasn't because, you know, we had brought a lot of records with us. You know, me and Sir Jinx, we had brought some records with us that we was actually gonna do. So we was like dedicated to make sure that it still had West Coast flavor in it, even though it was done Green Street Studios right there in New York, right there, you know.
Cool. That's really dope.
Yeah. I do have a quick question, actually, for all of y'all. So would you consider yourself a fan of today's hip hop?
Some of it. I don't, you know, a fan. A fan is somebody, you know, that's constantly, you know, buying it and, you know, kind of absorbing it. You know, I ain't in it like that no more.
I think what I'll say to answer your question before Cube goes, because they're signaling us that he has to go, is that I may not listen to all of it, but what I do say is that you gotta let, because I got friends who hate on it, like, yo, this fucking garbage and all this stuff. And I think it's generational. I think that you gotta let the 19-year-olds like what the 19-year-olds like, or you gotta let the 15-year-olds like what the 15-year-olds like. Else you're gonna sound like an old ass hater. You know what I'm saying? Because when you was 19, there was somebody over your grandmother may be like, what the fuck are you listening to that? I can't understand.
I try to get into it. Like I come at it with that angle. You know, if the youngsters is playing it, I wanna know what they like about it, why they into it, you know.
Right.
And some of it I feel, some of it I think, you know.
It's a lack of quality.
Is there by chance a specific artist that comes to mind that y'all don't understand the hype?
I'm not doing
Stats tired. She thought NWA was networking with her.
No, I'm just curious.
Status tired.
Figured I'd ask.
Now Q got to get out of here.
Okay.
Appreciate this
course,
so much.
yes.
Love,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, man. Thank you so much, man.
Love what you guys are doing.
Thank you again,
Yes.
man. We appreciate you.
Thank you for being here. As always, stay tuned for the next episode. And y'all know, it is what it is.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs. Like when they doing them 2 for $5. And then drive through in the black.